So I'm one of the kind of people that likes to give something to my neighbors and my kid's teacher and the person that I see walking their dog by my house. And so it's nice to just have this open category of like people who you run into on a regular basis. Like maybe it's your barista. Like I used to be a barista and I would actually get gifts from people that would come into the coffee shop regularly. So it's kind of nice to just show your appreciation for somebody who you see and maybe has helped you out in some way throughout the year.
This is Evolve CPG, a community of purpose-driven brand leaders who not only believe in better, but actively pursue it. That's better products, better brands, and better leadership for a better world. Thanks to you, our listeners, this podcast is now ranked in the top 10% of all podcasts globally. Let's not stop there, though. If you like our show, please take a moment to leave us a rating or review and share your favorite episodes with your network. The more people we reach, the more good we can bring about in this world. If you work in the industry, you can also join our online community where we're going further, faster together at community.evolvecpg.com. I'm your host, Gage Mitchell, founder and creative director of Modern Species, a sustainable brand design agency helping better brands grow and scale their impact. On this episode, Kate Fosson and I are going to introduce you to the 16 brands we decided to feature in our impact-driven holiday shopping guide. So stay tuned to learn about Better for the World sprinkles, journals, stuffed animals, wearable sleeping bags, lunchboxes, lotions, sleep supplements, shave kits, candles, tableware, zero waste guides, coffees, teas, and chocolates. Whether you're buying something for yourself or someone else, we've got you covered.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Gage. I loved being on your podcast a few months back, and I'm excited to be back talking about brand pollinators and, of course, the brands that are in our community. If you're not familiar with brand pollinators, we are a consulting firm that is really turned into a community for social impact consumer brands. And we are very excited to be able to connect brands and founders to each other and to help kind of amplify the good that we're able to do. So this holiday guide is something that we started last year, and very excited to share some of these really cool products that are here for anybody that's really just trying to shop better this year and be more intentional with your purchases. So we're very happy to be able to work with you and Evolve CPG on this project.
Yeah, thanks for popping on and being such a fun and open collaborator. Because we're both kind of trying to do the same thing of raise awareness and increase opportunities for people to interact with these impact-driven brands, whether that's buy them or stock them in your store or invest in them or just spread the word about them. So I love this idea. So when you came to me with this guide that you've done last year, I was just super excited to be able to participate in any way we can. So one of those ways is by recording this episode where we can geek out on some of these brands that have made it into this guide. So to introduce everyone to the guide a little bit more, can you talk a little bit about the kind of theme of give with intention and how you went about selecting the brands to feature in this year's guide?
Yeah, for sure. So it's just, I think that the holidays is a time when we hear a lot about just consumer hype. I mean, we get all these sales and people get all amped up about buying things for other people. And it's just, I think that there's starting to be this shift where people are less focused on the number of gifts and the amount of money they're spending, and really focusing more on experiences and quality products that actually are making a difference rather than just kind of creating more waste. So that was kind of the impetus, and we're connected with so many cool brands that it's just such a fun way to be able to share what their different missions are and to give people the opportunity to support them, like you said. So we looked at brands that are either certified B Corp or in the process. Their products are organic, they're using fair trade, maybe they're vegan or cruelty-free. A lot of times they're made with sustainable ingredients that are ethically sourced. We've got a couple that are upcycled. and plastic free. And a lot of them are giving back in some way, whether it's 1% for the planet or some other donation that they make to help make the world better. And of course, a lot of these companies are also owned by women or minorities. And so it's just a real cool way to focus on what we find can really make an impact with consumer products.
Nice. So we're really checking a lot of those boxes with this guide. All the different ways in which a brand can be better for the world will be represented in some way, shape, or form in this guide, which is exciting. And then we're also kind of representing different recipients of holiday gifts or just gifts in general that you might want to give some folks. So the guide is broken up into sections based on the person you might be giving a gift for. So can you talk a little bit about how these different sections were developed and kind of who the focus is for each page?
Yeah, for sure. So this was something that was important to me when I first created the guide last year. And I think a lot of times the guides that come out are sometimes more focused on the company rather than the customer. And so I think it's really important to make sure that it's something that's actually useful for shopping. So it's, there can be guides that have, like, food is great. I mean, it's definitely awesome to have food as a gift, but it doesn't always make sense. And so I think, we split up these categories so that it's focused on who you're purchasing for. So if you're purchasing for a kid, we've got some options for you. If you're purchasing for somebody who is big on spending time in the outdoors, we've got options. If you're purchasing for a neighbor or a friend or a coworker, we have options there too. So it's really focused on who the recipient is and how you can help bring value to them in addition to, supporting a great brand yourself.
Awesome. And I totally get that. Whenever I'm searching for holiday gifts, I'm always looking up guides like this, right? Especially for nieces and nephews or something. And I want to find them something different that I haven't gotten them before or that someone else isn't getting them. So searching specifically for like kids and then maybe also like another attribute like art or organic or something like that is super helpful. So hopefully you all tuning in here find this guide useful. So a couple quick notes. We're about to dive in and talk about some of the brands that are featured in this guide, but we'll also give you the guide as a PDF download. So just check out the show notes for a link to where you can get the guide, where there's a little bit of information about each of these brands as well as links to the website. And in some cases, also some discount codes so you can save a little money while, supporting these better for the world brands and getting something cool for your loved ones this season. So
win.
Totally. And if you're listening to the podcast right now, that's fine. Keep listening. But if you're a more visual person, you might want to pause here and pop over to a YouTube channel, Evolve CPG, where you can watch us talk through some of this stuff, and we'll be screen sharing some of these brands' websites as well as we're talking about why we chose them. So just a note there, feel free to pop over to YouTube, hit subscribe, watch the show, whatever you want to do there. So with that said, let's just go ahead and dive in to the guide itself, starting with for kids. So how about overall kind of what you were thinking about with kind of deciding who to feature in this year's guide for kids?
Yeah, the guide for kids. So if you have kids or if you've purchased for kids recently, you see a lot of plastic and a lot of things that require batteries, a lot of screens. So we focused on things that are not that. We picked some products that are, well, first of all, let me say Shore Buddies, one of the products we have on here, is adorable. They're like these little stuffed animals they're all little sea creatures, but they're made with 100% recycled plastic. And their mission is to really help educate kids about taking care of the oceans. And so they give money back to supporting education, environmental education, and also like super adorable. So it's not just like things the kids might not want. It's actually fun stuff for kids that is also made with a recycled product.
This is awesome. And it's Shore Buddies, obviously, because so much plastic just ends up in the ocean. So, of course, if you're going to use recycled plastic that keeps this waste going into the ocean or collects plastic from the ocean to clean it up, why not also make the stuffed animals ocean themed? So I think this is super cute with all the baby seal and the little whale and the seagulls and everything. So they're just fun little stuffies that happen to also be made with recycled plastic that helps clean up oceans, but then also is kind of a good storytelling piece for those kids to start the conversation of like, well, what are things made of and how can we be more responsible with the environment? But it's also just as stuffy too, so
Yeah,
it's fun.
and I mean most age kids like stuffed animals, but I think they do keychains too. I think Shore Buddies has keychains as well. Which, oh boy, the keychains on the kids' backpacks these days. Let me tell you, they're in.
Yeah. Do they have like 30 keychains on their backpack? I seem to
Oh
remember
yeah,
that was a thing for a while. It was like just having, even for somebody who doesn't own a house or a car or whatever, they'd have like
yeah,
a whole like ball of keychain
yes,
from all the different things they want to dangle off their bag.
yes, it's a thing.
So yeah, you'll definitely you can see them in the guide and get a link to their website. But if you're wanting to skip past that and not look at the guide right now, you can find them at shore-buddies.com. And you can check out, learn a little bit more about that brand and why they're better for the world. With that said, let's pop over to another one of the brands that we're featuring. Which one do you want to do next?
All right, let's check out Wild Rooted. So I think this is a really cool company because it's so focused on nature and getting kids outside, which I am a huge fan of. And so their products are made with a lot of the apparel is made with cotton, 100% natural cotton, and then they use algae ink instead of something that's less sustainable, if you will. And so they have some really cool products that are available, and then they also give 10% of their profits back to the national parks and forests. So really cool company there, and love the mission behind getting people outside more.
Yeah. And this is in the kids category because they do have some fun stuff for kids. But if you're taking a look at the website now, which is wildrooted.com, or, on our YouTube channel, we're sharing the website right now. But on the website, you'll see that you can actually get stuff for the whole family with this brand too, but really cool graphic t-shirts, or I think what the product that's in the guide itself is, what is it, a journal and stickers?
Yeah, the stickers. So I think the sticker that's on the guide is actually a little like robot sticker. And I think I was reading that the owner's kid drew the
Oh,
robot
cool.
sticker. So that's pretty cool. It's a family owned business, which is really great too.
And this is worth kind of pausing for a moment to note that all of these brands that we're talking about in the guide are also in our collective communities. Like they're part of Brand Pollinators, part of Evolve CPG, or it's maybe somebody that you or I have worked with in the past. So these are all not just companies that we randomly found, but companies we know well enough and believe in their products and their ethos to be featured in this guide.
For sure.
All
And
right.
there's one
So,
other one that we had on here too for kids, which is the Supernatural company. So on our guide, we featured their like sprinkles that are used for baking. And these are just so fun. The one that really jumped out at me is called Unicorn Tracks because I have little girls that are like really into unicorn things. But they have all kinds of funny. Oh yeah, here's like one about ugly sweater sprinkles. They have all kinds of really fun shapes and stuff. But what I really liked about Supernatural is that these products are made without any artificial colors or preservatives. And they do a really good job of educating consumers through their website and on their social media channels about what is bad about using those artificial colors and dyes and how they're affecting kids. And so they're actively making a difference by using natural coloring, which I think they use herbs and like spices and like veggies, like stronger colored vegetables, in order to make these really vibrant colors. So that's really cool. And then they also are responsible, sustainable palm oil certified. So they're making sure that they're not harming. They're using a plant-based material, but they're not harming the environment in the process.
Yeah, and it's odd as someone who isn't kind of gluten free. The more I learn about gluten, it's just kind of in everything in surprising ways. Like my friends who are celiac have to avoid so many candies and stuff as well, because even in things that you wouldn't think have gluten, it's somehow snuck in there. So it's also great to note that these are vegan and gluten free, as well as all the other things you mentioned of the artificial dyes and such. And then, like you said, they're just super fun too. Like what kid doesn't want some unicorn tracks or some ugly sweater or Into the Woods sprinkles, right? So they're creative, they're better ingredients, and natural dyes. And then a thing that I think is really cool that I'm seeing more and more of these days are these collaborations. So
Mm-hmm.
on the screen right now, what we're looking at is they've done some collaborations with Run Amok, the kind of maple syrup company, to do a sparkle syrup, which just
Wow,
sounds
good.
like
Try
fun
that.
as well as some King Arthur kind of the flour baking kind of company doing some collaborations with them. So lots of fun, different sprinkles and other goodies on this website at supernaturalkitchen.com.
Well, the
So
thing I
give
loved
them a
about like those baking kits too is that it's, about giving an experience too. And when you give somebody
right.
sprinkles, it's not like, oh, I'm going to eat these right now and then forget about them, or I'm going to, go play with this for 5 minutes and then forget about it. It's like, I'm going to make a memory by,
Right.
baking
Yeah.
something. Either way, you can do it with the child, or, they might do it with a family member or a friend, but they're going to bake something that's like meaningful to them, and then they can decorate it themselves. And it becomes more of an experience rather than just kind of a one-off purchase.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think more people should be involving their kids in cooking. Look, I know it's chaos and it can create more mess and take longer, but there's so many adults who grow up not knowing how to even boil water in the kitchen, right? But if you can start your kids early, teaching them about how to make their own food, then they're going to eat healthier. They're going to know more about nutrition. They're going to be more resourceful, et cetera, as they grow up. So I think to your point, that's brilliant. You're not just buying them the sprinkles, you're buying them the experience of cooking together. Okay. That was a lot of awesome gifts for kids. Super exciting stuff there. But let's move on to the outdoor lover. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit about how you were choosing or what you were choosing for this outdoor lover section?
Yeah, for sure. And we actually have a product in here that is also for kids. I think there's several throughout the guide, but the outdoor lover is really focused on people who enjoy being outside, and then also supporting the outdoors so that those spaces are still available for people, into the future. So the first one that I mentioned that has a product for kids is actually Silk bags, and it's a wearable sleeping bag. So it's really cool because it is made 100% with recycled plastic, or recycled material. So the lining, like the insulation, and even the zipper is made with recycled
Wow.
materials. So they went through great lengths to make sure that the product was eco-friendly, and then they also do a lot to give back as well, which they are a member of the Climate Action Corps and also a member of 1% for the Planet. And then, of course, the product is just really cool in general because it's a sleeping bag you can wear.
Yeah. And they have pictures on the website for those not following along on YouTube of people just like walking around town in this wearable sleeping bag and whatnot. So it seems almost like there was there was these there was this product called Snuggies, I think, that was out there
Yes.
for a little while that was kind of similar. It was like a wearable blanket. You can just wander around. And I remember my former partner at Modern Species and I would actually wear those to like an office parties or something like that sometimes. Just show up in the Snuggies. in the cold winter. So I could totally see myself just rocking one of these wearable
Yeah.
sleeping bags all around town.
Yeah, I suppose you don't have to be outdoorsy to use the wearable sleeping
Yeah.
bag, but there are a lot of different styles that they have, and again, there's like some cute kids ones on here as well. So yeah, it's a really cool company, and they're making a really cool product that is great for the outdoors and helpful to preserve the planet as well.
So next time I visit my clients up in Saskatchewan, I'm going to have to get one of these bad boys because I did not have clothing warm enough for Saskatchewan when I was up there in the winter one time. But I think what's also kind of fun about that one is it's called Selk, which I'm guessing they were naming it based off of the Selkie, which is like a Celtic mythology around this like part human, part seal kind of character in their lore, which is pretty cool too. Which
Oh,
makes
very
sense
cool.
because the part of the magic comes from the Selkie coat, like the seal coat that the human would put
Mm.
on to become a Selkie. Anyway, so
Oh,
that's
I
kind of
love
fun.
that. That is cool.
All right. So up next maybe is let's see, we've got Peak State Coffee. You want to
Yeah,
talk a little bit about what you love about this brand?
yeah, Peak State is a great brand, and so they're creating some really delicious organic coffee and working with fair trade, organic. They're giving 1% back to the planet, so it's a really good quality company. But the product itself is delicious, and it's also one of those that is more like low acid. So it's really nice for people who find coffee to be a little bit too strong on on the stomach per se. So Peak is really great for that, and then it's also they include adaptogens, so it's a functional coffee as well. So they're doing a ton delicious coffee and a lot of great flavors as well.
And we've included them in the outdoor section because they have coffee in a tea bag, which I've seen a handful of brands do now. I want to say that Java Zen a few years back kind of started that trend, but a lot of folks have been jumping on that bandwagon so that you can take your coffee with you to go without having to have a bunch of fancy French presses or any other kind of brewing equipment. You can just literally put the tea bag in your mug with some hot water and you're ready to rock.
Yeah, and the Peak State has been working on this product for quite a while. It's real ground coffee. It's not instant coffee, and they have it. I think a compostable packet that it comes in. So they've really thought about a lot of the details in order to make a really good coffee that is also really good for the outdoors.
Love it. Okay, so you can find them at Peak, as in the top of a mountain, PEAK, peakstatecoffee.com. Okay,
That's right.
so last up in our outdoor collection is EcoLunchbox. One of those companies out there kind of driving the plastic-free movement, which, fun story too, Sandra, the founder of EcoLunchbox, was actually our first guest on the podcast, Evolve CPG. So she's episode number 1, and we actually just
Ooh,
reran her episode recently because she was one of the top episodes of 2021. So
awesome.
with EcoLunchbox, there a lot of the things a lot of these other brands are. Like I'm pretty sure they're B Corp certified. They're certified plastic free, woman owned. Lots of great credentials here. But the whole idea behind EcoLunchbox is find containers that are plastic free, which is really difficult to find these days. Like somewhere in the lid or in a closing mechanism or in a latch or somewhere in that product is usually going to be some plastic, and plastic often can leach chemicals into your food, but also it's if plastic is attached to the metal in the product, then that product's not recyclable, and there's just so many other reasons. So Sandra's kind of on a mission to help create a more plastic-free world. She even wrote a book on the subject. So maybe if someone you're buying a gift for is a anti-plastic or somebody that wants to learn more about that, you could also by the book. But there's all sorts of great little bento box kits or insulated containers and other things here on the EcoLunchboxes website, which is EcoLunchboxes, plural.com.
Yeah, and it's great for the outdoors because they also have some like utensils, and I think they have an outdoor kit that has a little pot that you can use, and they have these like stainless steel glasses and things like that. So you can really outfit a lot of your camping kitchen with products from EcoLunchbox.
Yeah, for camping, for work, for school, it can kind of go everywhere, anywhere you go. All right, so that's our outdoor section, which, as we just kind of noted in multiple ways, kind of has some overlap with kids as well, or for other audiences. So lots of nice overlap in these sections, but we hope that breaking them up in this way is also just easier for you to inspire ideas for who to give and what to give. With that said, our next section is for hard workers. So what was this section all about?
Oh, yeah. So for hard workers, it's really about whether it's your spouse or, a parent or a caregiver or a teacher, somebody that's just really been a founder, maybe somebody that's just
Yeah.
been working so hard and probably needs a little pampering. I remember when my sister-in-law first had her kids, she would always just ask for sleep. Like, I would love if someone could give me some sleep for Christmas. That's what I want. So this
Yeah.
section is really about helping people kind of rest and relax. So we have several brands here that are providing products that will enable people to do that. One of them is actually from Era Superfoods, and they actually have a sleep aid, a supplement. And so that in particular, you might actually be able to give someone the gift of sleep with supplements there. But those are,
Okay, I
those
pulled
are
that one up now.
functional. They're made with vegan ingredients. There's no artificial colors, flavors, preservatives. And it's just like a natural sleep aid gummy. So that's the one that we had featured here, but they do have a lot of other supplements as well.
So for the busy parent during holiday season who might be working, raising children, taking care of the house, taking care of other family members, then the gift of sleep might be exactly what they need, or just for anyone who's working hard to make magic happen in the world. I think we could all use a little bit better sleep.
Yeah, and that's not to say that just because this is a gift guide and it helps you give gifts to others, like you don't have to give it to others. You could give it to yourself as well too. So maybe this
Yeah,
is just something that you're going to give yourself as a gift before you go out and conquer everyone else's gift list.
yeah, and I'm noticing a mushrooms theme in this list so far, this holiday guide, but that's just a trend in general that I'm seeing through CPG right now is mushrooms are having their day. Not that they haven't been around for a long time, but you're seeing mushrooms woven into supplements, woven into your coffee, mixed into a bunch of others. In fact, a little bit before this, I had some mushroom supplements from someone that we
There
had
you
on the podcast that helped launch this better brand for Focus. So there's
go.
just mushrooms all over the place these days. So I just wanted to call that out, that if you haven't gotten on the mushroom bandwagon yet, now is your opportunity. Both Peak State Coffee had kind of mushrooms blended in there, as well as this Era kind of supplements too as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of opportunities for sure.
All right, so
One
that
of
one
the
is era.so if you want to go check them out now. It's EAR or ERA.so.
And I think they're going to offer a discount too for the holidays. So we've got the discount code in the guide as well.
Oh, so there you go. You have to download the guide. Don't just go to the website.
Got to download the guide.
All right. So who's up next? You want to talk
Who's up
about
next? Oh, yeah, let's
Bison?
talk about Bison Star. Bison Star Naturals is a healthcare product that they make lotions and soaps and really cool vegan. They're made with natural essential oils. And this is a great company. I actually went out to visit them a few weeks ago. They're based in
Oh,
Taos.
nice.
Yeah, and beautiful spot. They're building a new brick and mortar shop, which is really cool. You can follow their process of building the brick and mortar shop on their Instagram page. But they are an indigenous family-owned business, and so they use a lot of the local resources they have available. One of the products that we had featured in the guide is the sage pine lotion, and it's like so delicious. It smells like you're just walking into this like sage pine forest or something.
Yeah.
So those are those are really nice natural beauty products, and love the founders and what they're working on.
Yeah, they sound amazing too. I'm for my soaps and shampoos and other things, I love more of these natural scents, and especially, of course, if it's actual natural ingredients and the real scent instead of fake stuff that's meant to smell like that. So even just looking at these soaps, like cinnamon soap or cedar soap or lavender soap, that sounds both refreshing but also just very natural and clean, which I really like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's they're a great company, and again, all the products are vegan as well, which is really nice.
And if you've follow TikTok much, there's this whole meme around this kid that loves corn. I don't know if you've seen that, but this I just pulled up this corn soap bundle. So it's like soap in
There
the
you
shape
go.
of corn. So if you're on the TikTok trend, or if your kids are on the TikTok trend around that little boy who just loves corn so much, this could be the perfect gift for them because it's corn.
Corn. That's awesome.
All right. So get yourself some Bison Star Naturals at bisonstarnaturals.com.
Hmm. Okay, we do have another like healthcare, body care company on here as well, which is Moon Valley Organics, and they have their main mission is really protecting pollinators. So it's really cool to see this company that is giving 10% back of their profits to supporting pollinators, but they also run this 10-acre organic farm, and they have like a pollinator sanctuary on site. So really cool company that is working hard to protect some of the greatest allies we have on the planet, which is bees and other pollinators.
Yeah. And it's super cool brand, like lovely packaging. They're in Pike Place Market. They have a kind of permanent stall in there. And they just do a lot of business with tourists because they're kind of local products, but they're also just like beautifully packaged. And they have these really nice little gift packs that you can get as well. I'm trying to navigate there on the website for those following along on YouTube. So they've got these nice little bundles where you can get like a lotion bar and some lip balm and some like muscle rub or something like that. So different gift packs that come sustainably packaged. So everything they do, they try to make sure is recyclable or compostable or whatever else. So I'm pretty sure that this little pack that these gift packs are in is like a compostable or biodegradable kind of material, and then kind of recycled or recyclable kind of labels and stuff. So super sustainably minded, just like fresh, clean products, and just a lovely brand as well. So especially if you're a Seattle file, if you love the Northwest or something, this is a good brand to support too.
Yeah, I actually ran into them at Expo West, the Natural Products Expo West this past spring, and their booth was really cool because they had brought in all of these dried flowers from their farm and like decorated their booth with the dried flower petals, and it was beautiful for sure.
Yeah, lovely stuff. So you can find them at Moon Valley Organics, plural.com. All right, one more in this section. This is our biggest section because there's so many hard workers out there. They deserve
That's
a little
right.
pampering.
That's right. Yeah, we are the last one that we wanted to highlight is Lola Arneo, and so they have a really cool shaving kit that is made for people with ultra sensitive skin, but they use a bar soap for this, and so it's actually equivalent. Like one bar of soap is actually equivalent to 2 cans of shaving cream. So they've really limited their packaging for this product, and it comes with this brush and a nice little bamboo bar rest. So really a nice little gift for one of those hard workers, especially someone who is going to be shaving. I think it's more for geared towards women, but I think pretty much anybody can appreciate those low packaging or zero packaging beauty products.
Yeah, could be women. It could be just anyone who shaves their legs for sports or anything else. If you'd like a nice, clean shaven leg or arm or whatever, I don't know. Maybe it could be used for face too. I'm not entirely sure. But if you're shaving and want to remove all those nasty chemicals and packaging and waste that comes with along with shaving, this is a great option for you. Just nice, clean, simple ingredients, sustainable format and packaging. I believe they're based out of Portland as well, so some more Northwest love here. It would have been interesting to see where all the different companies that we included in the guide are from. But
right.
I know at least a couple of them are Northwest based.
Yeah, this is also a women-owned company, also vegan products, also giving 1% for the planet. And they do carbon neutral shipping, which is nice. So no matter where you are, you can still order the products, have them shipped, and not feel so bad about the shipping footprint.
Great. So this one you can find at Lola or Nao, which is LOLAARNAO.com. Okay, that wraps up the hard workers section, though, most of these gifts could be for any hard worker, but those ones are great for the person who needs a little more pampering in their life. All right, so the next section is for the host. I think that's a fun section too that I was excited to see in here. So can you talk about this grouping a little bit?
Yeah. So I had a recent experience hosting an event, and it was just a sad reminder of how much gets wasted during events. I set out like a compost bin, and I had purchased all these like compostable plates, and there was a lot of non-compostable things in my compost bin by the end of the night. But there's just so much plastic and so much food waste, and there's just a lot that goes into hosting and trying to be sustainable at the same time. So we came up with this category to really help people reduce the waste that is involved with hosting, but also just kind of be more conscientious about what's included as being a host, and trying to support people who are visiting your home, or giving a hostess gift when you visit someone else. So one of the companies that we have on here is Good Light Candles, and I just love being able to see all that they have continued to add to their collection. So Good Light has been around for quite a while and started with these smaller unscented candles that you could use for like birthday candles or luminaires. And now they've expanded into scented candles, and they have different holiday options. And they're really great products because they're using the sustainable palm oil. They are also part of the RSPO certification, and they give back to orangutan rescue. So it's really important to the company to use a plant-based material. They have a ton of information on their website about petroleum-based candles and kind of the toxicity of burning those petroleum-based candles, paraffins. And so they do a great job of making a quality product and also helping to educate people about why to use plant-based and why to care about orangutans when you're looking for a candle.
Exactly, yeah. So clean burning, obviously better for the planet, better for you, but then also goes to support more sustainable agriculture. And then, like you were mentioning, some amazing sounding scents. So I think the one that we put in the guide is this vanilla nutmeg cardamom. tin that's in this nice little holiday themed tin, which just sounds amazing. I wish that was burning here right now. But so it's a nice, beautiful little gift, but also better for the person you're giving it to, as well as just better for the planet in general.
And just personally, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves is when people have like a super strong smelling candle that's like very fake smelling. It just really,
Yeah.
I guess it's not more of a pet peeve, but more of it actually gives me headaches. So it's nice to see some natural scents that aren't including, those artificial scents.
Yeah. And it's worth noting that they are like a pretty big supplier of like Shabbat and Hanukkah candles and stuff as well um, for anyone with friends who celebrate those holidays, or if you celebrate those holidays and you haven't heard a good light, it's they're a great source of clean burning, non toxic, better for the world candles for all sorts of uses. So
Absolutely.
great one there.
One
Okay,
of
so
the
you
other
can
ones.
find them at goodlightcandles plural.com.
Yes. One of the other companies we have on here is Detox. It's the letter D, TOCS. And this is a really cool company. So they are a compostable plate that's actually made with fallen palm leaves. So they're not even harvesting fresh leaves. They're actually using fallen palm leaves. And they're microwave safe. They're really durable compared to some of the other sustainable flatware or tableware. So these are really cool. I got a set for myself, and the kids loved all the different little shapes and sizes that they come into. They wanted to eat everything out of these palm leaf plates.
Yeah, they're meant to kind of replace the need for crappy little plastic or paper plates for kind of holiday serving. So they are more durable. They're more beautiful. So you don't even have to be embarrassed about serving serving stuff up on these plates. But
Mm-hmm.
because they're more durable, like in my opinion, they're somewhat reusable. You're not going to like pop them in the dishwasher and reuse them 100 times, but they're also something that you could rinse off and use again on the same event. So if it's like one plate per person or something like that, it could get done. Whereas some of those floppy, crappy plastic or paper plates, they're kind of a one-time use, and then you burn through like 3 or 4 of them per guest in one event, which is not super sustainable. So
Oof,
um,
yeah, for
great
sure. And
collection here.
the company is woman owned, and they really focus on empowering women in the countries where they're actually. I think it's in India where they're gathering the material and building these plates, and they're practicing fair trade practices to make sure that these women are getting paid a decent wage for the work that they're doing. So that's another great reason to stand behind the products.
It's also worth noting, maybe I'll put this in the show notes too, but a handful of these brands that we're featuring have also been on the podcast. So maybe along with the guide, I'll link to the different brands that have been featured on the podcast. But we did kind of tell the story of Detox on the podcast a few months back. So also, if you want to dig a little bit deeper into their story, why they got founded or what they're doing, I'll put a link to the podcast in the show notes.
Very cool. Okay, we
All right,
have one
so
other. Oh yeah, go
I
ahead.
think you already said the URL, but just in case, it's dtocs.com, detox.com.
Yes. And then the final company that we have listed for the host is WARE Asheville. And this is a really cool company that is making more responsible daily living materials so that we're reducing waste around the home. So they've got napkins, towels, aprons, forks, dish cleaning. There's even a book in here, which I think is what's listed in our holiday guide. It's a zero waste chef cookbook. So a
Mm.
really cool gift for a host, but there's also a ton of other options in their store as well. And I love this. On their website up here, it says that delivery is always bike powered. So if you're living in the Asheville area, you can get your delivery by bicycle.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, they're a great store. I was in Asheville a few months back and dropped by the store, but they were just about ready to move into a new one. So I think they moved into a new location. I can't remember I think it was roughly the same amount of square footage, but they were just going to be able to use that space a little bit better and be closer to where a lot of their customers are. Their previous store was, I think, more tourist area, but now they're kind of more where a lot of their daily customers are. But cool store, lots of great stuff for gifts. I brought back multiple gifts after visiting the store for people from there. But then also you can get a lot on their website. But if you do happen to live in North Carolina, drop by and you can, zero packaging, refill your shampoo or different things like that there too. They're trying to go for that, not just sustainable goods, but wherever possible, eliminating waste in the supply chain too. So I believe this is also another one that was on the podcast. So I'll share the link here too.
Awesome.
But yeah, check that out at where AVL, as in Asheville, whereavl.com. Okay, so that wraps up for the hosts. Not that a lot of these other products couldn't also be for hosting, but we had to group them somehow. So those are some great hosting tools, either for you to use to host or for you to give to your favorite host. So next up, and the last section that we'll be talking about is for new friends. Can you talk about this subset?
Yeah, new friends. So I'm one of the kind of people that likes to give something to my neighbors and my kid's teacher and the person that I see walking their dog by my house. And so it's nice to just have this open category of like people who you run into on a regular basis. Like maybe it's your barista. Like I used to be a barista and I would actually get gifts from people that would come into the coffee shop regularly. So it's kind of nice to just show your appreciation for somebody who you see and maybe has helped you out in some way throughout the year. So these are just fun things that, even if you don't know too much about the person, it could be, a new friend that you don't know a lot about what their hobbies or their habits are. But we put together a couple ideas here and most of them are edible.
Yeah, because if you're going to give a gift, why not be able to eat it? If you don't know about them and don't know if they're into camping or even what color of wearable sleeping bag they might like or what kind of shampoo they use, it's nice to just be able to give people something somewhat universal.
That's
so
right.
who do you want to start with?
Yeah, what's more universal than chocolate?
Totally.
I mean, that's kind of daily for me, but we put Alter Eco as our preferred chocolate gift on the guide this year because they are just doing so much to advance more regenerative ecosystems and really empowering farmers with their organic products and regenerative organic chocolate. So a very cool company, B Corp, working hard to make sure that you can really enjoy your chocolate and trying to support all the people that go into producing that chocolate as well.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, a lot of these companies that we're talking about, the brands that we're talking about, are within our ecosystems in some way, shape, or form. And Alter Eco's been a long time client of mine. It was one of the brands that I'd always looked up to in the industry for their commitment to sustainability, like sustainable packaging or sustainable sourcing and just great ingredients and great products. So I've been honored to eventually got to work with them and been working with them for somewhere between 5 to 10 years now. It's hard to keep track of the years. So they're amazing company, just doing all the things. Like a lot of these companies are B Corp certified, but Alter Eco, for example, often wins Best of the World awards within B Corp because they just get such high scores. Like you mentioned, regenerative agriculture is the future, and they're kind of on the forefront of that because sustainable is no longer enough. We have to create ecosystems that replenish rather than just stay neutral or deplete over time. So they're doing a lot of agroforestry, making sure that you're kind of bringing trees and other plants back into the farms, which creates more income sources for the farmers, creates more sustainable farming because you don't have to put as many inputs in. There's shade trees and other nutrients from some of the other plants that kind of give nutrients to the cacao, for example, but just so much stuff going on. But regardless of all that, they're also just really delicious chocolate. So I think what we featured in the guide are their truffles,
Oh my
which
gosh, they're so good.
they sell in 60 count if you're addicted like I am, but
Yeah.
also great for gifts for new friends. They have like little 5 or 10 count boxes. Like I bought a bunch of these 5 count kind of assorted holiday truffles to be my Halloween candy for the kids in the neighborhood.
Oh
So I
wow,
just kind
so
of like
generous.
put those out. Yeah, some fancy truffles for the kids rather than a bunch of garbage
Ah,
sort
wish I
of chocolate
was
stuff.
trick or treating at your house.
So they make great stuff for a variety of uses, chocolate bars, granola, etc. But we were featuring their really delicious, indulgent truffles in the guide. So you can find them at alterecofoods.com.
Very nice. So one of the other ones we have on here is a coffee, another coffee product, because I mean, everybody drinks coffee, I think. Well, actually not everyone. We also have a tea product here, so you can cover both
So if
bases.
you were about to like burn this episode because we said everyone drinks coffee, hold on, we got something for you too. But
Don't
for
worry, don't
those
worry.
for
We
those who
will.
do drink coffee.
So yeah, for the coffee, this is from Rock Hill, and so these guys are local to I think Charlotte, North Carolina area, and they have been working really hard to source good quality coffee, and then also giving the proceeds back to help people that are suffering with homelessness, and they're also helping people that are struggling with food insecurity, and then a percentage of profits also goes back to supporting children in Uganda. And the founders actually know the kids that are the beneficiaries of these funding, and they kind of track how they're doing and check in on them. And so it's really cool that they're able to leverage some of their local coffee sales into this kind of global support system for a lot of people.
Yeah, it seems like a really cool company. I just wish they had a little more storytelling on their website to tell us more about this mission stuff. But regardless, you can go and find their different blends on the website, which sound/look delicious. So I'd be excited to try them, and maybe next time I'm in North Carolina, I'll see if I can make it out to one of their locations or find some of their coffee in the store. But it sounds like a really cool coffee brand to support.
Yeah, and they started out in just like this little, I think you can see it on their website, just this little like trailer, little travel trailer thing. And then they expanded into a store, and now, they've got their online products available. So they're really growing quickly, and the coffee is amazing, and really great mission behind the brand as well.
Cool. All right. So for the coffee lovers out there, another cool brand to support. And you can find them at rockhill.coffee, not .com, but .coffee.
Perfect. And then I apologize if I offended any non-coffee drinkers, but wait until you see our final, last but not least, product to feature, which is Wild Orchard Regenerative Tea. So this is a really cool company that has regenerative organic certification for their teas. And they are doing so much to protect the environment, but also have award-winning tea flavors, which, I mean, I have not tried all of these, but they all look amazing.
Yeah, there's I haven't tried them all either, but like bubble gum is one of their flavors. So some of them are kind of out there, so maybe like tea purists are going to be aghast when I say bubble gum, but there's traditional stuff too. Lots of green teas like Alter Eco that are super focused on regenerative agriculture. Tea growing in general is a little less resource intensive because a lot of these plants grow naturally anyway, so they don't need as many inputs, and you're not necessarily like ripping up a bunch of stuff to plant them, hopefully, but they are doing a lot of great things around regenerative agriculture, and like you said, just really delicious tea as well. That's they got like award symbols all over their website for their different blends, so definitely worth checking them out. We should have them on the podcast in the near future, just scheduling that one out. So we won't have a
Oh,
link to
awesome.
share with you, but stay tuned.
Yeah, that would be great because I heard that they started their own tea farm and have grown it based on that tea farm that they started. So very exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about their story. So that wraps up the URL is wildorchard.com. And that wraps up the For New Friends section. So whether you're a tea lover, a coffee lover, or a chocolate lover, there's something for your new friend in there. And they're all kind of smaller package things that's easy to give as a little gift. So so that's it. We've talked about a lot of new brands that maybe you haven't heard of, or some brands that you have heard of and needed a little reminder. But this is our Give with Intention holiday guide that you'll see posted on our various social medias. You'll hearing about it here on the podcast, and we'll put a link to the PDF guide in the show notes. From here, please share it out. Support some of these brands, of course, buy their products, but also share the guide for other people looking for some impact-driven brands to support this holiday season too.
Yeah, thanks so much for helping to track down these brands and put the guide together, Gage. I think that we've found some really cool options for people, and I am excited to purchase some of these for my family this year, and sharing with everyone else so that we can all kind of make better decisions about how to give gifts and how to make an impact in the process.
Indeed. Yeah. Thanks for including us in this. We just love spreading the word about impact-driven brands. So this is a fun collaborative project. And for those listeners out there, if there's someone you think we should have included this year and maybe should consider for next year, feel free to drop us a note, maybe in a comment wherever you're consuming this, or in social media, or you can email evolve@modernspecies.com to send some suggestions there. But we're happy to consider other categories or other brands for future promotions. Like right now, we're just doing this as a once a year holiday thing, but maybe we'll expand this if you like kind of some of these gift or purchase suggestions. Maybe this could expand to be birthday suggestions or other holidays, not just the end of the year holiday season. So shoot us some notes if you like this. Let us know if you bought some of these products and you love them, or your gift recipient loves them. We'd love any feedback you have on that. And again, please just spread the word about impact-driven brands and, do your part to support them.
Absolutely.
All right. So thanks again, Kate, for all your hard work on this and for coming on and geeking out on these brands a little bit with us.
Love it. Have a great holiday.
Yeah. Cheers. Happy holidays. Thanks for listening. To get your PDF copy of the guide, or for links to the featured brands, check out the show notes in this episode. If you don't see them on the platform you're listening on, pop over to evolvecpg.com for the full notes. For more information on Kate or Brand Pollinators, go to brandpollinators.com. Subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel for more innovator interviews, expert advice, and leadership discussions. If you like this episode, leave a heart, thumbs up, or review, and share it with your colleagues. As an ever-evolving show, we also love feedback, so send us your thoughts or ideas for who we should talk to next to evolve@modernspecies.com.